A gentle morning light bathes the old village square as the painting competition quietly begins to unfold. Chubby Max carefully prepares his brushes and paints while waiting for the competition to officially start today. Soon after, the village chief arrives with a warm smile, taking his position for the portrait session. The village chief sits gracefully upon a wooden stool, waiting patiently as the young artists begin working. With focused eyes, Chubby Max begins sketching the outline of the chief on his clean white canvas. Then, his mischievous friend Buddy stands nearby, suddenly sticking his tongue out in a very silly expression. In his distraction, Chubby Max accidentally incorporates the silly expression into the portrait of the chief. Fully absorbed, he continues painting with enthusiasm, unaware of the funny mistake he is currently making. Meanwhile, the village chief remains calm, gently watching the students as they work on their portraits. Finally, the painting is finished, revealing a very peculiar and unexpected expression on the subject's face. When the time comes, Chubby Max steps forward to present his masterpiece to the smiling chief. Upon seeing the portrait, the chief's eyes widen in utter surprise at the sight before him. Suddenly, he bursts into laughter, finding the accidental humor of the drawing absolutely impossible to ignore. The entire group of students gathers around, curiosity piqued by the laughter ringing through the air. Amidst the joy, the chief declares the piece the most humorous portrait, awarding Max a prize. Then, Chubby Max beams with pride and happiness, celebrating this unexpected and funny artistic victory today. Buddy stands by, laughing heartily while patting Max on the back for their shared little creative adventure. And so, the village square becomes filled with genuine laughter, turning a simple class into a celebration. Gradually, the students begin to pack away their easels and paint kits as the morning passes by. Once finished, they leave the village square quiet and tidy, holding on to the day's happy memories forever. The sun climbs higher into the bright blue sky, warming the old wooden beams of the hall. A moment later, the village chief walks slowly along the path, enjoying the peace of the day. Meanwhile, Chubby Max rests under a large leafy tree, still clutching his award-winning painting with joy. Together they sit in the cool shade, sharing a quiet moment after the excitement of the competition. As noon approaches, the bright golden sunlight fills the entire space with a warm, sleepy atmosphere. In this tranquil time, the village chief settles into his home to rest his tired old feet. Looking at the drawing again, Chubby Max cannot help but giggle at the silly expression he captured. Buddy playfully repeats the same face, making the scene even more amusing for both of the friends. Then, a refreshing breeze sweeps through the village, cooling down the warmth of the early afternoon. Slowly, the day begins to fade, leaving behind a peaceful and contented feeling in the air. The square remains still as the shadows grow longer, signaling the arrival of the late afternoon. From his home, the village chief peers out the window, watching the calm afternoon slowly unfold. Meanwhile, Chubby Max walks back home along the dusty country road, feeling satisfied with his day. His friend Buddy waves a cheerful goodbye, their laughter still echoing softly through the quiet village. When evening falls, the sky transforms into a beautiful mix of amber and soft violet colors. By now, the village chief tends to his garden, watering the blue hydrangeas with careful attention. Back home, Chubby Max carefully places his portrait on the shelf as a treasured memory today. When the wind picks up, the light curtains sway gently in the cooling evening air inside. Finally, the oil lamp is lit, casting a warm glow across the room in the evening. As night descends, the village settles into a deep, serene slumber under the bright, starry sky. The moon casts its soft light over the quiet village, bringing peace to every hidden corner. Quietly, the window is latched shut to keep the warmth of the home safe inside tonight. The small fire in the hearth flickers once more before dying down into soft, glowing embers. The night air remains perfectly still, as the village drifts into a peaceful, dreamless, deep sleep. With the new morning, soft mist rolls over the fields to greet the rising early sun. Soon after, the village chief wakes up to start another day with a heart full of joy. Then, Chubby Max stretches in his bed, remembering the wonderful time spent at the art competition. When the dew sparkles on the leaves, the village awakens to a fresh, vibrant, beautiful day. And then, Buddy comes to visit his friend, eager for another fun day of simple village adventures. Finally, the two friends walk together toward the meadow, ready to explore more wonders ahead today. As they walk, wild flowers bloom along the path, adding color to the bright morning sunlight today. Then, the chief continues to water his lush garden, watching as each plant thrives in peace. Meanwhile, soft clouds drift across the blue sky as the day warms up with gentle grace. With excitement in his step, Chubby Max runs forward, enjoying the freedom of the open country road. At the same time, Buddy follows closely behind, unable to contain his joy on this lovely morning. Soon they decide to rest under a large tree, catching their breath after the long run today. Looking out at the horizon, Chubby Max reflects on how wonderful the world feels in this moment. Buddy gently plays with some flowers, enjoying the simple beauty that surrounds them in this quiet field. When the midday sun becomes quite bright, they decide it is time to head back towards home. And so, they begin the pleasant walk back to the village, their hearts filled with deep happiness. The square is empty now, basking in the quiet, lazy heat of the bright afternoon sun today. Meanwhile, the village chief sits on his porch reading a book, finding peace in the soft quiet. A gentle wind chimes rhythmically, creating a soothing melody that flows across the wooden porch patio. Back inside, Chubby Max drinks a glass of fresh water, feeling refreshed after his long morning walk. Buddy sits by the open door, watching the clouds dance across the sky with a gentle gaze. As the sun begins to dip lower, the light softens and everything starts to look very golden. The village chief walks through the village path one last time, admiring the quiet beauty tonight. In his room, Chubby Max sketches a new portrait, practicing the skill he learned at the competition. Buddy reads a storybook, completely engrossed in the tale, while the evening air cools the room. Then, the horizon glows with a vibrant orange, signaling the end of another day spent well. As the stars begin to fill the sky, a peaceful darkness settles over the sleeping village area. The village chief lies down to sleep, dreaming of the laughter he shared with his people. Chubby Max blows out his candle, ending his night with a warm, cozy, and sleepy feeling. When the night wind blows through the trees, it creates a soft, rustling sound that calms everything. Everything in the village rests in a gentle, quiet peace, tucked away under the soft moonlight. The moonbeams shine brightly on the small pond, creating a mirror of light in the night. As crickets sing their evening melody, the village enjoys the beauty of the cool, dark air. Under the vast, starry sky, all the villagers enjoy sweet, peaceful, and very happy dreams tonight. At the start of another day, the mist begins to clear as the world wakes up. The birds sing happily from the branches, welcoming the sunrise with their sweet morning music now. Then, the morning sun touches the wooden floor of the hall, warming the entire space gently. Meanwhile, Chubby Max rushes outside to greet the sun, filled with energy for the new day. Buddy arrives and joins him, and they start playing games in the beautiful morning light together. The village chief watches from afar, smiling at the simple joy of the two best friends. By now, the whole village awakens to the rhythm of a peaceful and busy morning today. When the soft clouds drift slowly, they create a calm and beautiful view for everyone here. Finally, the two friends sit down to rest on the wooden porch, enjoying the quiet time. As the sunlight begins to lean, a soft and gentle light envelops the entire beautiful garden. Before sleep fully arrives, Chubby Max looks once more at the portrait, noticing the courage hidden beneath its humor. He realizes that art does not always need to be perfect to touch the hearts of people deeply. Buddy nods as if he understands, then makes the same ridiculous face again, making Max laugh softly. The painting on the shelf seems to glow in the lamplight, carrying the warm spirit of the village square. Outside, the village chief also remembers the portrait, smiling alone as he sits beside his quiet window. To him, the funny picture is more than a mistake. It is a reminder that leadership can welcome laughter. The next morning, he decides to hang a small copy of the portrait in the village hall for everyone. When the villagers see it, they smile with surprise, feeling the room become brighter and friendlier at once. Chubby Max feels shy at first, but the chief gently places a hand on his shoulder with pride. He tells the children that creativity grows when the heart is brave enough to make mistakes and keep going. Those simple words stay with Max, giving him confidence to continue painting faces, flowers, homes, and dreams. Buddy watches from the doorway, proudly puffing his chest as though he helped teach the lesson himself. The old hall fills with warm conversation, and the little portrait becomes a cherished symbol of joy. By afternoon, Chubby Max sets up his easel again, ready to practice with patience and a happier heart. He paints the chief's garden, the blue hydrangeas, and the soft sunlight resting on the village path. Every brushstroke feels lighter now, because he understands that true art carries honesty, memory, and kindness. At sunset, the new canvas dries beside the first portrait, both holding different kinds of beauty. As the evening deepens, the village remembers that the funniest accident can become a treasured lesson when friends share patience, kindness, and the courage to laugh together beneath the same welcoming sky above. In the end, peace settles over the village as all the residents find rest for themselves. Under the starry night, the entire village sleeps in a deep, beautiful, and eternal